Winona, I'm Mrs. Brown, and I'm here to read a whole new ball game. These are our last two chapters. Chapter 55, The Benchmark. Good luck, Mr. Acevedo said. You may begin. You may begin. As soon as the teacher says those three words at the start of a test, I begin to sweat and shake and bug out. Then when I try to read the first question, the information bounces off my brain. It's as if my brain suddenly turns into one of those nonstick pots my mom cooks with. Then I start to sweat and shake and bug even more because I'm losing time. When I'm finally able to focus, I have to read even slower than usual because that's the only way the information sticks. But because I'm reading in super slow-mo, I'm bugging even more because I'm wasting even more time. Not today. Today, I went with Mr. Acevedo's suggestion. When he said, "You may begin," I put down my pencil. I let out a puff and checked the room. Room 208 didn't look like room 208. All the walls were covered with brown paper. The couch, bathtub, and beanbags were pushed against the cubbies. Mr. Acevedo's desk was in front by the board. Our desks were in rows. I sat at the desk in back of Grace and in front of Lana, the one with the note card with my name on it taped to the front. Avery sat by the windows near where Red usually sits. Red was off with Miss Yvonne. I let out another puff, picked up my pencil, and scanned the test. The first part was the editing part. I couldn't believe my eyes. There was only one question. A concerned citizen had written a letter to the editor of a newspaper requesting that a stop sign be installed at a busy intersection. The letter was filled with errors. We had to correct it and rewrite it. That was it. The second part of the benchmark was the listening part. Mr. Acevedo read us a passage, twice. He read like he read during T3. It was a story about a family sitting around a breakfast table preparing for a big day. But the story didn't say what the big day was. When he finished reading, I scanned the questions. How does the setting, when the grandmother's character, what predictions can you make based on which character best? How does the mood of the passage change from where's the family? Every question stuck to my brain like glue. We took the third part of the benchmark, the writing part, in the afternoon. There's only one question, Mr. Acevedo said. You have plenty of time. You're going to do great. I guarantee it. You may begin. I put down my pencil and scanned the question. Describe a situation in which you have been asked to do something you didn't want to do. Your response should include the following: a detailed description of the situation, a detailed explanation of why you didn't want to do the requested task, a detailed explanation of the process, a detailed explanation of the results of the process. Under the desk, I pumped my fist. It was as if the question didn't say, describe a situation in which you have been asked to do something you didn't want to do, but rather, describe your experience working on the nasty project. I had this one too. Chapter 56, Guaranteed. The next morning, I met Red at the end of his driveway at 7:25, and we walked our usual route to RJE at the schoolyard. I tossed my bag over the fence, and he caught it by the straps. We zigzagged through the portables, shared the oatmeal raisin granola bar, and headed for the playground. We obstacle coursed the jungle gym, tapped our wooden post, and headed for the front entrance, turning onto the circular driveway sidewalk just as the first buses. I stopped dead in my tracks. Avery and Mr. Acevedo were by the front doors. Let's go have a conversation, Mr. Acevedo said, smiling. He gave Red a pound. Let's head to the amp. Let me start with you, Red, Mr. Acevedo said. He sat cross-legged on the end of the front row bench with a folder on his lap. Avery sat beside him. Red and I sat in the second row facing him. Miss Yvonne said that was the first time you took one of those without extended time. Yes, Mr. Acevedo. I don't have your results yet, but Miss Yvonne said that was the best you ever did. By far. Bam! Red raised his arms. Mr. Acevedo turned to Avery. Same thing goes for you, Miss Goodman. Don't play, Mr. Acevedo, she said. I'm not playing. I have your results. He tapped his folder. He tapped the folder. Let's talk about the writing portion first. What did you write about? Working with Rip, she said. Seriously? I said. You two haven't talked about this yet? Mr. Acevedo opened the folder. We both shook our heads. You wrote about each other. She wrote about working with you. You wrote about working with her. I twisted a lock by my forehead and smiled. That was the best I ever did in writing? Avery asked. Not just writing, Miss Goodman. Editing, listening, and writing. That goes for both of you. In fact, every student in room 208 showed improvement, just like you guaranteed. I sprang to my feet and spun to Red. Handshake! Red leapt into it. High five, elbow, elbow, we cheered together. Right, right, left, left, fist, fist, knuckles, blow it up. Turn, jump, jump, booyah! The four of us shouted. Here's the picture. And that is the end of the book. So the next part that I'll read in the next video is called Acknowledgements. Acknowledgements is when an author thanks people, but also gives other people credit for the ways that other people contribute to the book that they wrote. So I hope you'll come back and join me for that part, because that's a really important part of the book that I hope you'll listen to, but I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll see you next time. Bye.